So Monday Night Raw is in the books, and it was kind of weird for me. Being a truck driver, traveling all around the country, I go through different time zones. So while on the West Coast, I'm out here in Oregon tonight at the Space Age Travel Center tonight, and I'm on West Coast time. As I record this, it's only 8:30. So if you have cable or satellite television here on the West Coast, you you get Raw at 8 o'clock Pacific time, which is 8 o'clock or 11 o'clock Eastern. So even though I'm on the West Coast, my I live on the East Coast, so my Xfinity is based on the East Coast. So whenever I watch stuff through the Xfinity app on my phone, it still gives me the East Coast feed of things. So I got to watch Raw live as it was happening, and I got to be honest with you, it's so weird to watch Raw and Raw go off the air and it's still nice and sunny outside. Weird. But let's run through this show, and I will tell you right now, the wrestling on this show was meh. The storytelling was awesome. Oh man, 100% awesome on this show. Raw, of course, coming tonight from Indianapolis, Indiana, and we um we got informed that Pat McAfee is not on the show, which is weird to me because everybody thought, okay, he's been taken out by Uncle Howdy, and maybe that's still the case, but I did a whole separate video based on the Uncle Howdy stuff, and it is uploading to YouTube as I'm recording this. We'll get into a little bit here. But Raw opened up with Michael Cole introducing The Miz, of all people, as his commentating partner for the evening. And I thought Miz did an okay job for the hour that he was there. Michael Cole had to do 2 hours by himself, practically, or at least an hour by himself, which turned out to be amazing. Cole doesn't need anybody else. It's so weird. I used to hate Michael Cole, and now Cole is probably the best thing they got next to Samantha Urban as far as announcing goes. Um, Drew McIntyre walks right in front of them as they're doing their introduction, which was awesome. And of course, he's mad at CM Punk, and the crowd starts chanting for Punk, and he's talking about how he took Punk out last week. And I think he goes, I hope you're uncomfortable and being fed through a straw because I put you there. And he talks about the bracelet that it has to do with Punk's wife, AJ Melendez, or April Melendez. Is it April Brooks now that they're married? And their dog Larry, and he calls Larry an ugly dog and says, I made it personal now because you made it personal with me. And we get a good promo there. And he says that he's going to go in and enter the Money in the Bank match. Doesn't say he's going to qualify for it. He says he's going to be in it. So, in Drew's mind, he can just go right in there. Then we take a look back at the end of Raw from last week. We pretty much get the same video package we got at SmackDown. Chad Gable gets to their arena and security immediately surrounds him. He's got a bandage on his forehead. He's blocking his face from the camera. He doesn't want to talk about last week. He doesn't want to experience last week all over again. And then Kathy Kelly is outside his locker room, hoping to get a word with it. And then Jackie Redmond is with Ludwig Kaiser. She asks about Raw about last week, and basically he talks about Braun Breaker and talks about Braun Breaker and says tonight he's going to beat up Braun Breaker. Um, Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser. I enjoyed this, and rumors coming out that Ludwig really did mess up his shoulder in this match. There was a lot of times during this match where Ludwig kept landing on his side, and I felt bad for him. So no wonder his shoulders messed up when you keep landing on your side and taking bumps on your side like that. But Ludwig actually, it just looked like he got totally wrecked in this match. Braun Breaker is a star. I firmly believe that Braun Breaker is. We're gonna see, even though it's Toronto, even though it's Canada. He's gonna win the title. He won the title, there and took it to Canada after WrestleMania. But now I think he's going to lose it in Canada. I'm picking Braun Breaker to win this Intercontinental title. It's time. I mean, in just a short amount of time he's been on the main roster, Braun Breaker's been elevated. But this match between Ludwig Kaiser and Braun Breaker was absolutely amazing. The end of it saw Sheamus doing a from out of nowhere run in, and yeah, it was just Ludwig Kaiser ended up winning by disqualification. Sheamus adjusts the announce table and sets up for a power bomb, but Braun then spears Sheamus. But yeah, it's just freaking amazing. Braun Breaker is amazing. Um, we then go into the Judgment Day's clubhouse, and they got video games in the back, and Dominic's got a big old plate of chicken nuggets. He's got all the nuggies. And we find out that Liv Morgan gave all these wonderful gifts to them. And Damian Priest just doesn't want any part of it. And then he tells them, hey, y'all need to stop messing around. You need to be out there looking out for Braun Strowman and taking care of Braun. I'm going to go get ready to, pretty much call out Seth. Um, Actually, he says the part about calling out Seth later, but he just tells them, hey, y'all need to go take care of Braun. Braun Breaker walks in the back, and then he goes up to Adam Pearce's office, and he's sick and tired of people interfering with the matches. And this is where we get because Sami Zayn walks up and basically spouts his mouth off to Breaker, and this is when we get, the match being made official for Money in the Bank. Lyra Valkyria versus Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. My God. This was good. I liked this match. The crowd liked this match. Lyra Valkyria getting the win. Again, Money in the Bank being used to elevate new stars. Money in the Bank being used to give stars that don't have opportunities and are not normally in the spotlight a chance to fight for that spotlight, which is what Money in the Bank should be. Drew McIntyre says he needs to be in the Money in the Bank after everything that happened to him. And Adam says, you need to qualify if you want to be in there. And Drew asks if Seth deserves a title match after he beat him. Says he believes in Adam and that Adam will do the right thing. And then we see Liv Morgan walking past Drew McIntyre. We follow her to the ring with the Steadicam shot. And Liv is in the ring and says that hope you enjoyed that text, because while they were in the clubhouse eating his nuggets, he got a text, presumably a nudie, one of them nudie texts, as the old timers would say. He got one of them nudie texts from Liv. And Zelina Vega makes her way to the ring because they got history after last week, too, and the last couple of weeks, actually. And basically, this sets up Liv and Zelina for next week for the title. And Dominic Mysterio ends up coming out. And Liv asks him if he got the gifts. He says he got the gifts, but he didn't like them. And she holds the ropes open for Dom. This is so good. And then Zelina wants to know what's going on. And, basically, Dom says that he knows that Zelina and Rhea have had their differences, but he would rather see anybody but Liv with the title. And then Rey Mysterio comes out. Dominic can't stand Rey Mysterio, obviously, so those two go at it. Dom punches Rey, and Liv is excited about it. Dom leaves. Liv follows after him. Um, we then get Kathy Kelly back at Chad Gable's door. Adam Pearce comes out, um, and Kathy asks him for an update. Adam says Chad's cleared to wrestle and ready for the triple threat. They have a video package, an awesome video package for the Seth Rollins recovery. Um, Very good video package to hype up Seth and make Seth a total babyface here. Liv is following after Dom in the back and says, "Thank you for saving me from your dad." Dom says that Ray is a deadbeat, and Liv hugs him. R-Truth shows up, and this sets up. I mean, again, this is Liv pulling the strings, just like Mommy used to pull the strings. R-Truth shows up and asks if that was Tom and Nick, and says he has a soft spot for Tom and Nick Mysterio, and that they're playing hard to get. And basically, Liv kind of plays into this and says, "Why don't you give them since you like Dom and Nick, why don't you give Finn and JD a tag title shot?" And sorry, I'm jet lagged. I'm still on East Coast time. My body is anyway. So basically, Liv Morgan manipulates R-Truth into giving JD and Finn a tag title match later on in the night. Um, we go into the ring, and Chad asks if you believe in miracles. The rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated, and he was left bloodied and bludgeoned and left for dead, but he's always going to come out on top. He'll always persevere. And this leads to Braun Strowman versus Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match. Before they went to a commercial and even a little bit afterwards, this match stunk. And I can't believe it's not Gable's fault. It's the two big men working with the little men complex. It doesn't work. Their timing was off. The spots were off. This match, the first half of this match sucked. Um, but this kind of comes back full circle as the last week earlier in the show about taking care of the Braun Strowman problem, because the Judgment Day, Carlito, JD, Finn, and Dominic come out. They all attack Braun. This, um, Bronson Reed, poor Bronson Reed, could be so much more than what they're doing. I don't expect, if his contract comes up again, I don't expect him to resign. But Gable with the moonsault on to Bronson Reed, 1, 2, 3, and Gable qualifies for the Money in the Bank match. The power goes out in the arena. The opening chord of Shatter repeats itself. They pipe smoke into the ring, and Abigail comes up. We are assuming this is Abigail. It's Nikki Cross, the bride, comes up and chases Chad out. Then she gives a box to Michael Cole. And the security guards, we don't see who laid them out. We don't see what laid them out. The security guards just throw themselves over the announce table and play dead. That I kind of thought was meh. Because here it is 2 segments later and they're standing there like nothing happened. But then again, if you're a security guard in WWE, you can go places later on. Cole holds up the box, says the box is for Pat McAfee, opens it up, and there's a VCR tape, an old VHS tape. And he has to explain to the audience, hey, for you kids out there, this is what we used to watch video. This is a VHS tape. Again, Michael Cole educated the crowd tonight. Not only did they have to look up and go Wikipedia what a VHS tape is, but later on in the show, he refers to Liv Morgan as Yoko Ono. And now the kids are trying to scramble around and figure out who Yoko Ono is. She broke up the Beatles, according to some. Anyway, so then Chad Gable walks in the back, knocks on the door. Otis comes out. He says he's sorry, and Otis goes, "I accept your apology, pretty much, but we're done." Maxine goes, "Hey, I know everybody's going through a tough time, but let me, you really treated us like dirt. But if you're truly sorry, I'll go talk to Otis and Tozawa." And as soon as she goes back into the locker room, the Diamond Mine shows up. All the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile show up, and they go, "Are you okay?" And Chad goes, "No, I'm not okay, but I need help. I need help." And then we had Isla Dawn and Alba Fire versus Katana Chance and Caden Carter. Oof. This was a four-finger stinker. There were drop kicks being thrown that didn't land. There was stuff being thrown, punches being thrown that weren't landing. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn end up winning. After the match, Damage Control, come down and attack them. And Io does a moonsault onto the both women. Damian Priest walks up to the clubhouse. Liv Morgan walks out, and Finn is the only one in the clubhouse. Again, what went down in that hotel room? Finn Balor's the only one in the clubhouse now. And says, hey, she just got us a tag shot. She just got Dominic a match against Ray next week. She's doing things for us. Look at all the gifts. Look at the chicken nuggets. Look at the video games. So, Priest says he was coming to grab his belt before he goes and addresses Seth. And basically, we need to avoid Liv. Damian Priest trying to be the voice of reason here. He's trying to be the one to warn everybody about Liv Morgan, and meanwhile, everybody else is falling under the Liv Morgan spell. Anyway, we're in the back. Miz finds Truth because he's left the commentary table after that, and Miz is like, you know what? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? And he says love is in the air, and that this is a romantic comedy, but he only loves Miz as a friend. Damian Priest makes his way to the ring, and basically we get a little back and forth between him and Seth, and what all this boils down to is stipulation for the world title match. Seth loses, he never gets another world title shot as long as Damian Priest is champion. If Damian loses, then Damian Priest has to leave the Judgment Day and prove that he can go out on his own and be his own man. Good stipulations, damn good storytelling, guys. I will say the Damian Priest promo for about the first, hell, I'll even say all of it. Damian Priest's side of his promo here came out totally as if he had rehearsed a script. It didn't come off natural to me, but the storytelling was there nonetheless. Gunther comes out then and says, may the best man, basically telling these guys, may the best man, win between the two of you, but the better man is going to win at SummerSlam. It's going to be me, the ring uncle, Uncle Gunther. Golly, Gunther. I got Uncle Howdy on the brain because he was next. We played the VHS tape. There's another video. There's another video on the channel explaining my thoughts on that. Damn good performance here. Kofi Kingston versus Karrion Kross. It was okay. Kross ends up winning. And Ellerling, they're picking at the break. They're leading to the breakup of the New Day, and Xavier Woods going away from Kofi here. We are told that there will be a 6-man tag match with Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. Didn't say who would make up that one. I would have to think it would be the Tongans along with, hell, if it were me, I would leave Solo out of it and put the Tongans along with Jacob Fatu against these three. Next week, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Ilya Dragunov. What a match that's going to be. And a qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Zoe Stark, Dakota Kai, and Ivy Now are in the other one. Dominic versus Ray for next week. Liv Morgan faces Zelina Vega for the women's world title. All that next week. What a packed Raw next week from Boston. Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus R-Truth and The Miz. This match saw things that, oh man, from McDonough of all people, shooting a drop kick that clearly didn't hit nothing. There was a good 2 or 3 foot gap. Maybe it was poor camera angles. But other than that, the match was really good. The storytelling was good. Liv Morgan costs um, Miz and Truth the tag team titles. And Michael Cole with the classic line, "Is Liv Morgan the Judgment Day's Yoko Ono?" Wow. Line of the night right there to me. Line of the night right there to me. And yeah, this was just amazing. Good episode of Raw from a storytelling standpoint. Still don't know what happened with Pat McAfee. Maybe tomorrow on the Pat McAfee show they'll give us answers. But well, guess we'll just have to find out. NXT tomorrow night looks good with the tag team turmoil and everything like that going down. And then Friday with they're in Madison Square Garden. The Bloodline is going to be in Madison Square Garden. Man, and they're not sold out yet, but I got a feeling they will be by the time Friday gets here. That does it for me, guys. We'll see you down the road. Hit that like button and subscribe button.